Hello everyone, I am Raven Ironwing and welcome to my channel. Today we will be doing Lesson 3 in my series about how to learn Kawthi, the language with only 42 words. Today we will be discussing pronouns, how to form pronouns and how to use them. In English we have a lot of different pronouns. The first person pronoun alone has 5 different versions. Do we really need all these pronouns? Well, learning languages like Italian and Spanish taught me that we don't need nearly as many pronouns in a language as we use in English. So I asked myself, how many pronouns do we actually need in a language? And what I realized is, you only need 3. You need a first-person pronoun, a second-person pronoun, and a third-person pronoun. In Kawthi, the first-person pronoun is we. So this is like I, me, myself, we. We, remember wa means good or positive or certain or affirmative. A, individual, whole, entity. So why is I or me or my, why is that the certain entity? Well, it's similar to Descartes' philosophy, I think, therefore I am. We are certain of our own consciousness, therefore we are certain of our existence. So we use the word we to signify our certainty of our own existence. And that's why we use this for the pronoun I or me or my. The second person pronoun is se. So this is like you or your or yours. Say, remember, s is an interaction or an action involving two individuals. So say is the one involved in the interaction. This is how we say you in Kawthi. The third person is pe. Remember the p sound means to exist. Pe means existing one. So in Kawthi, we don't have gendered pronouns. We don't have he or she. He, she, or it is all one word in Kawthi, and it's just pe, because there's not really any need to specify gender in a pronoun. You can specify gender directly in Kawthi, and that's how you would do it. You wouldn't do it in a pronoun. So pe, he, she, or it. Now to pluralize these, there are really only 3 pronouns, and to pluralize these pronouns, you do it just like you pluralize any other word. In my previous videos, in the first video, I mentioned that are means many or more than one. So we use are at the beginning of a word to pluralize it. So we means me or my, awe means more than one me, which is what we means. So we is awe. So se is you. Ase is you all. Pe, he, she, or it. Ape, they or them. So it's that simple. You have 3 pronouns. To pluralize them, you just add a at the beginning. We, se, pe. I, you, he, she, or it. But what about possessive, objective, and reflexive forms? Kawthi solves this problem very simply, just by word order and context. As far as reflexive forms, though, it's slightly different. We use the word meaning the same in this context, to distinguish between reflexive pronouns. So if I want to say something really weird like it eats itself, I would say pe ta pe. Pe ta pe. It eats, same it. So we know this it that it's talking about is the same it as this it, and that tells us it's doing it to itself. So pe is itself. We would be myself. And please don't eat yourself. I realize this is a weird example, but it's just what came to mind with the vocabulary that I'm introducing today. Alright, so possessive, adjective, and objective forms. I eat is weta. Here, way is signifying I because it comes at the beginning. But if I put it after ta way, this means my. It means this belongs to me. Now in this context, ta has to be a noun. So I'm not indicating eating, I'm indicating food. So ta way means my food. So when you have the pronoun after the concept we're talking about, it becomes possessive. So that this is mine. Ta way, the food that is mine. So when you read Kawthi, think of it like this, the food that is mine. Now in these sentences, you'll notice there are these dots between the words. And that's because in Kawthi, if you tried using spaces in Kawthi, it's kind of difficult to see where words start and where words end because of the shape of the characters. It doesn't work as well as it does in Latin characters or in English. So the reason why we put dots there is because it makes it very clear where the words start and where the words end. So at the end of each word, we put a dot. So between each word, there's a dot. And it also makes it so it doesn't take up nearly as much space as it would if we put spaces. I mean, look how much space it takes for a dot. Not very much. But look how much space it takes for one character. Quite a bit more. So it makes it so it's cleaner, it's easier to read with those dots. So remember, dots are like spaces between words. Alright, let's look at the next example. I eat my food. We ta we. So we're just combining I eat, we ta, with my food, ta we. We ta we. I eat my food. He, she, or it, remember that's all one word, eats it. Pe ta pe. So here, we know it's not talking about eating itself because there's no there. We're not saying pe. We're not saying the same it. We're saying it eats it. So here we know it's talking about a different it. Otherwise, I would say pe. Same it. Next, you give me my food. So if one pronoun is doing an action to the other pronoun, you put the one that's doing the action first, and then the pronoun that's doing it to next. So, se we means you to me. Se we, you to me. Se we des ta we. Des, to move an object in an interaction. So that's how you would say give in Kawthi. Des, to move an object in an interaction. Ta we, remember, we have we after ta, meaning we own that. So you give me, you to me, give food that is mine. So you can see with that word order, that's really how we differentiate what kind of pronoun we're talking about. Now let's look a bit more into possessive forms. If I want to say this food is mine, how would I say this food? I don't actually need two words for this in Kawthi. I just say to, because that means food that is here. This food, to. Remember, o means here or right here. So to is this food, food that is here. We, coming after that, means that it's mine. So to we, this food is mine. That food is yours, this food is mine. So, to say that food is yours, we would say toch se, and then to say this food is mine, again, to we. So, toch means that food. So the ch, this character here, the x character, the ch character, means that it is not this. So it is not here, it's over there. So och means that. So toch means that food. So we're expressing that food as one word, because when we're talking about that food, we're talking about one thing. So anytime what you're expressing is just one object, one concept, you can combine it into one word. So Kawthi often does this, where other languages don't, because it's very easy to do it in a lot of cases in Kawthi. Alright, this food and that food is ours. Okay, with this one we're going to use a conjunction. So this symbol means we're combining two things. It's the symbol that makes the sound oi. It means and, or plus, or combine, or add. So to, this food, oi, toch, that food, awe. Awe is a plural of we, or mine, so it means ours. So, to, oi, toch, awe. This food and that food is ours. Now, we don't need to actually use the word is, because putting this pronoun after these already tells us that we own these. It's signifying ownership. So we don't use to be or is or are like you would in English. You can, but you usually don't need to. Alright, so let's look at today's vocab. Let's just review some of the vocabulary words that we learnt today. That is in today's lesson we used it in the context to mean the same, but it also can mean equal or normal, like a normal amount. So as in upe itself. We learnt a, which means more than one, many, or much. When you use a at the beginning of a word, like the word way, to form awe, that tells us there's more than one of those. So it's like using the s at the end of a word in English, but use a at the beginning of a word in Kawthi. And then we learnt the pronouns we, I, me, or mine, say, you, yours, or your, pay, he, she, hers, his, it, or its, all those pronouns. And then we have des, to give. We have o, here, and then och, there. So that's all I have for you today. And if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and I will be posting a lot more videos in the near future, so stay tuned for those. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to voice those in the comment section below. If you'd like to see me go over specific things about Kawthi, then please make your suggestions below as well in the comment section. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye.